Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dash Nicole if you're new here, and as you can tell by today's title, we're doing another makeup tutorial. Stop looking for a reason to hate me. Just hate me. I know I haven't done anything like this in so freaking long, but without further ado, if you haven't already, please hit that like, comment, subscribe button, and let's jump into the video. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So starting off, I already completed one eye off camera, but I'll be going in with my 3 by Beauty Bay eyeshadow palette. So starting off, I'm just using my Juvia's Place concealer in the shade 18, just to prep my eyelid for my eyeshadow. Then I'm just taking a buffing brush and just pretty much just blending that out, and then I'll be going in with my beauty blender and just blending everything out. And then after that, I'll be going in with my variety of shades. I believe I used like 4 shades all together just to get this look, but y'all will see in just a few, but keep on watching. Okay, so here I'm actually going in my Nude palette. I believe it was either my Nude or my Neutral palette, and I'm just taking a neutral shade to pretty much just get as close to my natural skin complexion as possible. And then I'll be going in with the Rich palette and just finding I would say it's like in between maybe like orangey brown type of color, but I'll be going in after this with my James Charles palette by Morphe and just adding that to my transition shade. That way everything is like a gritty effect, but all together y'all see it, so just keep on watching. Okay, here I'm taking that orangey brown shade from the James Charles palette, and I'll just be adding that into the crease of my eyelid. That way it can just help build up that transition shade to my darker shade in just a few. Then I'll be going back in that Rich palette and taking my last shade. This is like a chocolate brown. I believe this actual name shade was chocolate, I believe. But yeah, I'm just taking that shade and just adding that into the crease to my liking. And then in just a few, after everything is blended out to my liking, I'll be going back in with that same concealer that I prepped my eyelid with from the Juvia's Place, and I'll just be carving out my eyeshadow, how do I want to call it? Crescent look or whatever, cut crease. I don't know why I can't think right now, but yeah, so that is what I'll be doing in just a few, clearly here. So now I'm going back in with my Beauty Bay eyeshadow palette, and I'm just taking a tan, it's like a tan neutral white, off-white, whatever you want to call it. I'll be taking that shade and just applying that, really just packing it on top of my eyelid where I apply that concealer just to set that concealer in place so it does not move. Because y'all, this concealer was literally trying to give me here. Like, I don't know what was going on, but yeah, so I'm just making sure that everything is to my liking right here, and I know y'all see that like that to me. Okay, so now I'm just taking those same shades that I used to pretty much get the look of my eyeshadow, and I'll just be blending that in on the edge of my cut crease to pretty much just blend all that out, so it's not necessarily like a harsh line right there. And yeah. Okay, so here I'm actually going in with a black matte eyeshadow from the James Charles Morphe palette, and I'm just placing that on top of my liquid matte eyeliner that I applied off camera. And then towards the end of my eye, pretty much like towards the end of my cut crease, if that makes sense, I'll be taking the same black eyeshadow with this little brush and just giving or making the illusion of a winged liner, but it's really just like eyeshadow fading into the actual eyeliner, if that makes sense. Okay, so now I'm just taking my Juvia's Place Concealer in the shade 12, and I'm just cleaning up the excess eyeshadow on my winged liner, and I'll just be taking my damp beauty blender and just pretty much blending all of that out. Then following this, I'll be taking, oh, also before I get into it, I did my skin prep before I started this video in case you were wondering. But yes, I'm taking my NARS foundation in the shade MACAO, and I'll just be taking a simple little concealer brush and just applying that evenly all over my face, and then I'll be going back in with my damp beauty blender, and I'll be taking the larger size of the beauty blender and just blending literally everything out with patting motions. Not swiping, patting motions. So also, if you notice, as I'm blending out my foundation, I'm also bringing it down to my neck area. That way my neck and my face are literally correlating together. Okay? Looking like that. So now I'm going in with my Juvia's Place Concealer in the shade 12, and pretty much I'll just be concealing my under eye area. And then following that, I'll be taking my Juvia's Place Concealer in the shade 18, and I'll just be adding that to like the inner corner of my under eye area. That way it gives like a brighter effect. But overall, I'll be going in with my triangular padding puffer, whatever you want to call it. I cannot think right now. But I'll be taking that, and it is not damp. It's actually dry. To me, personally, I feel like this blends out my concealer a whole lot better than a beauty blender. Why can't I not talk? Beauty blender. I just feel like the beauty blender kind of picks up the concealer. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it was cool for the foundation, but when it comes to my concealer, I still want it to be visible on my face. Okay? But I'm pretty much just applying my concealer to the areas where pretty much we normally conceal. Under eye, my chin area, on the top of my mouth area, down the bridge of my nose, in the middle of my forehead. So now I'm taking my triangle powder puff and literally just blending that out. Okay, so now I'm taking my contouring bronzing stick from KKAO Beauty in the shade Brown Sugar, and I'll pretty much just be using this bronzing stick to pretty much just contour my face and my contouring areas. And if you haven't noticed, on my cheekbone area, I don't take the bronzing stick all the way down past my nose. I've just kind of picked this technique up lately, and I feel like it's working best for me. But pretty much I'll just be taking my Real Techniques Expert face brush, I believe, and just literally just blending it out, because I feel like this brush was pretty dense out of all my brushes. So I just picked this one up and pretty much just blended everything out. And at this point, I really feel like, are y'all seeing how everything is just coming together as one? Like, it's literally just melting into each other. Like, I definitely did my one with this one for real. Okay, so now I'll be taking my Juvia's Place blush in the shade Pink Lady, and I'll just be taking that and dabbing it on my hand, and then just taking a fluffy brush applicator that I picked up from Shein. I know it looks like a movie brush, but it's not. It's a dupe. But I'll pretty much just be taking that blush that I applied to my hand, and then literally just blending that out lightly on top of the area where I placed my bronzing stick. Okay, so here I'm just actually taking a clean little fluffy eyeshadow brush, and I'll just be going back in with the KKAO Beauty Brown Sugar bronzing stick and literally just contouring my nose. And then following that, I'll be going in with my Juvia's Place bronze palette in the shade 10, and literally just going over and setting all the areas where I placed the bronzing stick. Okay, so now I'm going in with my One Side setting powder in the shade Sweet Honey, and just literally just taking one of my clean triangular powder puffs, dry of course, and I'll just be taking the setting powder, dabbing it on my hand, and literally just going underneath all the areas, or on top of all the areas where I applied my concealer, and literally just patting that in. So I'm not necessarily baking, I'm more so setting all in one and done. So now I'm going in with my Juvia's Place bronze palette in the shade 10, and literally just going over those areas where I stated that I pretty much contoured with my KKAO Beauty bronzing stick in the shade Brown Sugar. Okay, so now I'll just be taking my Maybelline blush in the shade Pink Rose, and literally just going over where I placed my Juvia's Place Pink Lady liquid blush, and just setting my liquid blush with my powder blush. Pretty much just have everything set in place, just like I pretty much set my bronzing contouring stick. Okay, so now I'll be taking my KKAO Beauty Artist Essential Powder Palette, and I'll just be taking the closest shade to my concealer where I applied underneath my eye, and pretty much just placing that on top of the areas where I placed my One Size Sweet Honey setting powder, just to pretty much clear out any flashback or any ashy looking to my makeup. So now I'll just be going in with my eyebrow pencil. I believe this is from the brand Wet n Wild. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know. Everything will be listed down below in the description box. However, I did my eyebrows off camera, and I'll just be taking my concealer, the Juvia's Place concealer. I believe this is in a shade 12, I do believe. But I'll be taking that and pretty much just carving underneath my eyebrows. Then I'll be taking a clean brush and literally just blending that out following with a damp, clean beauty blender and literally just blending everything out. Okay, so once everything is blended out, I'll actually be going in with a simple black eye pencil and literally just going on my waterline, and then I'll be following that up with a dark brown eyeshadow that I used in my eyeshadow look above. Ooh, that was such a brain fart. But I'll just be pretty much just taking that brown eyeshadow and just placing that underneath my bottom lash line, and I apply my eyelashes off camera. And yeah, it was kind of a struggle right here. I don't know what's going on. But pretty much I'll just be going in with my two lip liners from Juvia's place. And I do believe the other one was from NYX, I think. But I'll pretty much just be taking those two lip liners and just going over and outlining my lip. And pretty much be following that up with my NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Fortune Cookie. And then I'll be setting everything with my One Size setting powder. And then I'll be following that up with my Essence Lash Princess mascara. And that pretty much will conclude this look. Okay? When you see